Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is the Europa League or nothing as Manchester United take on Real Sociedad in the first leg in San Sebastian at the Real Arena. It is the Europa League or nothing for Manchester United. Premier League, it's done. Carabao Cup, we're out. FA Cup, we are now out. Could you imagine if Manchester United are playing Champions League football next season? Don't know how far we'd get, but Manchester United, 14th place, one of the worst Manchester United sides we've ever seen. Could you imagine if somehow we qualify for the Champions League? Well, Ruben Amorim has been downplaying it, saying we've got longer term goals and we shouldn't be focusing on a cup to save our season and we need to focus on the longer term vision. But what I can say to you is I actually disagree with what Ruben Amorim said. Of course, yeah, we do need to build for the long term and we don't want to compromise just to win a cup, but we've got to win the cup. We've got to get in the Champions League. That's what we've got to be focused on. This club demands trophies, and it's our only hope at any sort of financial investment in the summer. The club have made it very clear we don't have much money. Ruben Amorim, if he wants time and he wants to build a long-term vision and to build a long-term style of play, I mean, the fans back him and the fans want him to be able to do it, but he's going to need the money. He's going to need to be able to get players in that suit the way he wants to play, players with some technicality, players with some physicality, and winning the Europa League would go a long way in one, giving him some time in the media. I mean, the fans are behind him, but it won't be long before the media starts circling. Honestly, it will start happening at the start of next season if he doesn't get the results. The media will start to circle. I mean, they're already starting a little bit, and it just also gives the fan base a massive boost. It gives the players a boost. It invests the players into him and gives them the belief into Ruben Amorim. Of course, don't bend, don't change your philosophy just to win the Europa League, but you can make some adaptations to it to make sure you do your best. You have your best possible chance at winning that cup, and we start by beating Real Sociedad. You don't really have to even beat them. I never go into a game saying we could do with a draw, but if we got a draw, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It's always a tight game against Spanish oppositions. Spanish oppositions have really been frustrating to Manchester United in the past. I mean, just look at what Sevilla have done to us in the past. I mean, I don't ever want to play that team again. And Real Sociedad are one of them teams that we come up against and it's always very edgy, it's always very tight. And despite where they're at in La Liga, as a lot of people are saying, despite, their past couple of results, they're a very good team. They have got some good players and they are technically good. And just when everyone ever says to me, oh, look where they are in La Liga, they're not doing as well as previous years. Look where Manchester United are. Manchester United are 14th. You cannot take Real Sociedad for granted. They will be looking at Manchester United and they will be thinking we can get past them, we can beat them, and we've got to make it as difficult as possible. I mean, just to bring in some stats around Real Sociedad and Manchester United, because a lot of people, when we got drawn to Real Sociedad, they were thinking the worst, and they were thinking, well, that's Manchester United probably out. We always struggle against Spanish oppositions. Well, I've got some positivity to bring into this road trip. Head-to-head history against Real Sociedad for Manchester United: 3 wins, 2 draws, and Real Sociedad 1 win. And last time we went to the Real Arena, Alejandro Garnacho scored with a Cristiano Ronaldo assist, did the Ronaldo celebration, and we won that game 1-0. So we have got a decent track record against Real Sociedad. And like I said, realistically, we only really need a draw, because bringing it back to Old Trafford, to be fair, we have been better away from home, haven't we? But bringing it back to Old Trafford, you always do have that advantage if you've got the home leg second. Also, Manchester United in the Europa League, I don't know how, but we're the only team that is unbeaten in the Europa League so far in this campaign. I don't know how, because it doesn't feel that way to Manchester United. And only Galatasaray, who are now out, Lazio and Tottenham Hotspur have scored more goals in the league phase than Manchester United, who are averaging 18.8 shots per game in this season's competition, their best ratio in a European campaign since the records began in 2003-04. So Manchester United are having the most shots in the Europa League. Maybe this is our competition this season. A lot of people saying it could be the FA Cup. We're out of that. Maybe it is the Europa League, because if you actually look at our pathway to the final and you look at the teams we might have to come up against, there's no one that absolutely blows you out of the water. There's no one that you're massively fearful of. Manchester United I still believe, could beat anyone on their day if we can get some players back. I mean, Ahmad's going to be a massive miss, and the lack of attacking threat we have in front of goal is worrying, but we can beat anyone on our day. I mean, you get past Real Sociedad, I mean, you're looking to the next round, and it's Lyon or FCSB. We've beat FCSB before. Lyon obviously are a decent side, but it's no one you can't get past. So Manchester United could have a nice route to the final. Athletic Club are ones that I've got to watch. A lot of people talking about Roma. Athletic Club, what they're doing in La Liga. I mean, Williams that they have, like, they've got some good players. I don't want to look too far ahead, but Manchester United could get to that Bilbao final, and it's so important that we do so. I mean, you just look at the other stats that we bring in. Manchester United have lost just one of their last 8 European away matches in Spain, won 5, drawn 2. Although that defeat was their most recent against Sevilla, we all remember that one. Sevilla are a team I don't want to face again, in the second leg of a Europa League quarter-final tie in 22-23. I think that was the Lisandro Martinez injury, if I'm not mistaken, and David De Gea had a pretty bad day at the office. I think that was that one. But we've lost just one of our last 8 European away ties. So that is a decent record for Manchester United, despite a lot of people building us up to not be good against Spanish teams in this competition. Real Sociedad also have successive losses to Spanish giants Real Madrid and Barcelona. So they lost 1-0 at home to Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey just 5 days before being thrashed 4-0 by Barcelona in La Liga on Sunday. So Real Sociedad haven't had their best fair share of results either. Granted, it is against Real Madrid and Barcelona, who are both fantastic sides, a lot better than Manchester United, but they're coming into this on a little bit of bad form as well. Martin Zubimendi, who is linked to a move to Arsenal in the summer, also Liverpool interesting as well, a very good player. You'll remember him from the Euros, stepped in for Rodri. He's a fantastic player, and I really do rate him as a midfielder. He's someone that I will definitely be watching with a close eye when we play Real Sociedad. He came off against Barcelona over the weekend with a hamstring injury, but he has been training and is available to start. And just some news on Manchester United as well. Chido Obi is ineligible. If you've not heard about that, Manchester United failed to register him. And why you would do that with the Rashford and Antony outgoings in January honestly boggles my mind. The injuries we've had now, to have Chido there and available would have been a huge boost for Manchester United. Luckily for us, Rasmus Højlund, the little goals he has scored this season, he scored them in the Europa League, so maybe that'll give him a little bit of a boost. I don't know, I'm probably clutching at straws there, but the few goals Højlund has actually scored for Manchester United, he did really well in the Champions League in his first year, and then in the Europa League he's done pretty well as well, so hopefully that'll give him a boost. And then also, which I thought was strange, and I am going to talk about it, because as much as I back Ruben Amorim and as much as I want him to do well, there's a couple of criticism I have. 2, dismissing the Europa League a little bit and the importance of it, that can transcend to the players, and Manchester United need to win cups. We're used to winning trophies, despite the fact Erik ten Hag, his league form was just terrible by the end. I mean, look at our league form now, it's got even worse. Finishing 8th was unacceptable, and then this season was unacceptable. We had Wembley trips. He got us to cup finals. He won 2 cups in successive seasons. Manchester United expect to be getting to finals. We expect to be going winning trophies, and you've got to take that into consideration. But also, what I'm slightly critical of as well for Manchester United with this trip to San Sebastian is Manchester United could name a 23-man squad to face Real Sociedad, but have only taken 18 players. It means that we're going to have a 7-man bench with 2 goalkeepers on it tomorrow night. So United, we've only taken 18 players when we could have taken 23. For me, it's like, just take an extra 5 youth players. Even if they don't see a minute, right, even if the youth players don't see a minute, just fill your bench. Ruben Amorim's failed to fill his bench for the last 3 games. Heading over to San Sebastian, a European competition in the Europa League, even if you don't use the players, I don't understand the thinking behind not using your bench. So I'm hoping someone's going to ask Ruben Amorim that question, because our academy, it's thriving. There's players doing really well in that academy. Okay, if they're not ready, but give them that experience. Are we that tight on funds that, you know, Sir Jim's going, well, actually, Ruben, you know, if you don't actually want to use these players, we could save on the airfare. We could save on the fuel money with the weight of the plane going over. Is that how tight we've got, or does Ruben Amorim just not want to trust these players yet? But you don't even have to play them. That's what I can't really wrap my head around. So that one is one that I don't really agree with, and I would love to ask Ruben Amorim, why don't you just fill your bench and give them academy players at least the opportunity to experience a European away tie, because I think it's such a valuable experience. But in terms of the game itself, Harry Maguire's out, Manuel Ugate's out. How do you fill in them gaps, because both important players in the starting 11 recently for Manchester United. Ugarte for me is first name in the team sheet along with Bruno Fernandes. Huge miss. Toby Collier is back. Does he come straight in? I don't think so. I think you're looking at a starting 11 of Andre Onana in goal, a back three of Mazraoui, De Ligt and Yoro. Your wing backs as Dorgu is back because he's not banned in this competition, thank God. We're going to have someone with a bit of pace, a bit of urgency down that left-hand side who can take a man on and get a cross into the box. So you'll have Dorgu and Dalot as your wing backs. Your two midfielders are probably going to be Bruno and Casemiro. Your two tens are probably going to be Xerxes and Garnacho, or Xerxes and Eriksen, and your striker's going to be Rasmus Højlund. We are thin. We are very thin. Harry Armas has got his opportunity, overlooked a lot by Ten Hag. Will he maybe get a glimmer of game time considering how thin we are on our wing backs? I think he'd be great at left wing back, and we know Dorgu can move to the right. Think about how poor Dalot's been. Move Dorgu to the right in maybe like the 70th, 80th minute, and give Harry Armas a little go on that left-hand side. I would not be against that in the slightest. My score prediction, I'm going with a 1-1 draw, take it back to Old Trafford, and we win it with a little 1-0 or maybe a 2-1 at Old Trafford. I think it's going to be really tight, but I've got to try and back Manchester United to get through in this competition. It's the only hope I have left. We're only at the start of March. It's going to be a long season if we go out of the Europa League now. We've got to progress, and any sort of European football next season, it has to be Champions League now because we're out of the Europa League, we're out of the FA Cup. We have got to go and fight for absolutely everything. This is our season. This is where all of our focus should be. Premier League, play the youth. We're not going to get relegated. We're not going to get Europe. The Europa League, it is do or die. We've got to go full on Jose Mourinho and put everything into this competition. Hopefully we can get the win. Thank you for watching. Get in the comments down below. Who would your starting 11 be? What are your score predictions? And come on, Manchester United.